All right, Cyber Traders, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Tuesday, October 26th, this Post Traders Talk edition, as is every Tuesday at least, but here of our afternoon meeting. Great to see all of our students like Felix and Scott, Jeff, Patrick, all of our traders here inside the Cyber Group room. And of course, if you're joining us on social media, once again, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back. I'll tell you what, I'm running a little bit empty on the water here, so I'll try and be efficient with my time and words, but today's gone full tilt. This whole day just kind of went lopsided, and I say that in a lot of different ways. I mean, the market ended up taking a bit of a drop off, so that's first, but ended up making a nice little bounce at least by 1 p.m. Eastern. And really more so, I'm talking about the volatility. I mean, just out of nowhere, the OCGN trade really was the one that just went all over the place. This stock, for the good news that came out on it, ended up, dropping off going into the open. We talked about this trade to great detail inside our Traders Talk workshop that again that we did earlier today inside the Cyber Group room. But for the most part, for all the good news that came out on this stock and for the run up that we had, well, that went to complete waste. Skip here in the chat board just simply writes, WTF. Yeah, I agree, right? Coming back to this trade for the first time, I'm sure that would be the first thing that one would say, right? Like, how the hell did this stock end up at 919, practically underneath where it had even closed yesterday? This stock ended up making a big pop in the after hours this morning, and even after the open ended up making a push back up, but man, out of nowhere, just ended up completely dumping off. So I'll tell you what, I don't think there has been any other news headlines that's come out, but I'll, for the most part, just recheck. Oh, actually, shoot. From where we left off, I'll kind of show you here a couple of snippets, though. We ended up talking about this at least a bit by 11:30, 11:45. It was some news in regards to their vaccine. The WHO seeks further clarification from Barrett Biotech on Covaxin. I guess that's OCGN's vaccine. So just that headline alone ended up leading to a huge circuit breaker halt on this stock. Again, we showed the chart. I'll go back to that in a moment. But you could even see here afterwards, though, an update from WHO tells Benzinga the technical advisory group expects to receive these clarifications from the manufacturer by the end of this week and aims to reconvene for the final risk benefit assessment on Wednesday, November 3rd. So what that tells us simply is that the stock's going to be pretty damn volatile, at least for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. This is not the type of stock that you should be swing trading for any reason, long or short. But nonetheless, as a day trade, this is like, trader's paradise here. So this ended up getting halted on the way down at first. And you know what I always say for stocks that get halted on the way down, regardless of the stock or the reason, almost always, that's a wrap. That's game over. And with the stock being shortable, well, look what happened. Only ended up continuing to dive off later on. So that could have made for an incredible opportunity as a trader to, short. And for the afternoon right now, this thing just still seems to be, dropping off quite steadily. I mean, again, we ended up wrapping up our trend line class yesterday inside the phase one stock course. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually, I did it from the 5-minute chart here. Give me a quick second to redraw this. It's going to be on the 5-minute. It will show just as well, I'm sure, on the minute chart. But let's see. I got to go back to even 12 p.m. Eastern. Oh, from here. Ended up dropping off a bit at first. Once it ended up popping the trend line, you could see instantly it came back down underneath it. I'm just using these highs for reference, but we were talking about that in class even before this next halt. It's to say that, hey, if it breaks the trend line and breaks resistance, the hope would be to see a big move up, or at least a temporary squeeze up, and then to react from there. Well, if it were to come back down right below the trend line immediately after breaking above it, that's a huge red flag. So easy to say in hindsight, but that's exactly what happened. The stock just got obliterated after. And, for right now, I mean, it's on the way back down. I'm sure that we're going to see another break of support off of 40,000 share order and counting on the bid currently. I think 9 just broke recently here or got tested. The low right there, 9. So probably see, yeah, a bunch of red on the tape already at 9. So a bunch of selling. And then also, furthermore, one thing to point out on this trade, because, I was talking about this earlier, of course. I actually ended up going long on it just a moment ago. And I took it right from a pretty important price level that we commented on. And, right from Bookmap here, even again, you can just be from the Trader Summit in person conference that we did last week. And I went over this specifically in the Halts workshop that I taught. But we ended up seeing this big opening halt print, so to say, an 827,000 share conglomerate print at $9.37. So you know what? Let's just put a quick line there. That's what I was commenting on all throughout the early afternoon. OCGN at 937. So right over here, once it broke through that price going up, I just went right in. I was being patient with the trade. From there, ended up breaking above 937 just here on a second go around, and led to a nice opportunity at least up to 10. Unfortunately, I didn't short it from 10 on the way back down. That would have been quite the short, at least from that point. But you could even see here once it ended up failing to hold over 937, boom, broke right below it. We'll see if it can hold here as resistance coming up. But man, this is an awesome stock to try and focus on and trade with here. So, hey, I'll tell you, this is just a small representation of, the overall day that we've had. The IINN trade. We had BIMI, my size. A lot of these stocks that are or were on the gainers list, and I'm referring to OCGN. I mean, now that thing is actually down, from yesterday's close. Let's just go right from top to bottom, see what else we have. Full disclosure, I am in one trade right now, and if you were in the trading room just over the last 15 minutes before I started, then you know exactly what stock that is. Myself and Scott, one of our students here, we're talking about it. But we'll start off here on IINN. I don't know what the company does. Tell you what, for the sake of time and my cotton mouth here, so to say, we're going to look to try and expedite the process. But for right now, it's making a lower high for as much as this broke out earlier today. Looks like just a new IPO. It seems like this could be a great stock to follow. I'm going to put it on the side list for right now. It wouldn't shock me if I end up putting this on the main list, at the end of it all. But I'd like to see the others first, see what else we got. Order book pretty thin on this stock, or at least, at times a big spread. Now the BIMI trade, this looks really good. So much so, I don't know, is this about to get halted? Live right now, is this about to get halted? Or I guess I should say again. Right now, let's see, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, at least. This would make at least the 5th halt right now, at least 5 times. Norman, you just said that right there. Yeah. So BIMI, hey, I'll take it. Good halts on the way up, bad halts on the way down. So this thing's been through the ringer also today, seemingly, and put it on our main list. Definitely watch that 194 price. Definitely watch major resistance up top at 2. We'll go from there. Looking good. What's also looking good right now is the trade that I'm in. I'll show you folks in just a moment. My size now at this point kind of dropping back down. This stock has been such a teaser of a stock for, I don't even know at this point, like probably since as long as I've been employed, at least for like 5 years, honestly. Just looking at like the weekly chart, you could just see, I mean, even here it goes to show this stock's been probably split over and over, reverse split that is, for a number of years, these pops and drops, there's the weekly chart, but goes to show this has not been a good swing trade for quite some time. Definitely good day trade when we happen to see good volume getting filled on the trade. And today ran up nice, but at this point right now, no big surprise right now to see this pull back. I'm going to pass on this trade for right now. Keep it in mind for remainder of the week. Keep it in mind going forward, perhaps. It's a day trade, not a swing trade on this one. All right, let's see what else we got. Got a bunch of warrants also kind of like populating the percent gainers list. So, I'm just trying to like quickly skip over those. Perry, I guess, trying to squeeze up here. Got, for a $29 stock, not really that interested in it. If it was moving faster, different story. It was the best of times and worst of times here on this LIDR, that's for sure. And goes to show again, once this gets halted on the way down, almost always, that's game over for the most part. That's a wrap. I guess you could have had a little, bounce at some point here or there, but all right. Jaguar, not much going on there. Not the car company, but health company. Getting a new car on Thursday. I looked into Jaguar. I mean, for as well as I have to say I've been doing this past year day trading. I'm not paying 750 bucks a month for a sedan. At least not yet on a lease. That's for sure. I'm going with Alfa Romeo. Nice Giulia. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list for right now. Fun. What goes up comes back down again. I mean, Fausto harped on this earlier this morning. Talk about a short squeeze. These short squeezes end up coming back down pretty fast. Say the same on VTNR. Looking at the daily chart there. Let's see what else we got. James here in the chat board says Jag was the best car I've ever had. Oh, I'm sure it's a great car. It's like the F-Type was my dream car. College kid and coming out of college and all that eons ago. But some point, maybe next car. All right, the way Bitcoin's moving, definitely the next car. All right, let's see what else we got though, folks. I say that in slight jest. All right, NXTD pop from Norman. Let's see. Yeah, great call. No brainer. This NXTD, great call. Definitely going up as I was going from top to bottom. So, got one of us chatting me right now saying, check out the Maserati sedan. Well, that would probably be in a competition with my F-Type. We'll see. Let's see. All right, I'll tell you what. I didn't jump to the stock that I was in. I don't know. I guess for some reason I skipped over it. I don't know why that was the case, but PROG, PROG. That was the stock that I was alluding to. So PROG definitely going to put on the main list. Now, this stock's been a bit of a sleeper throughout the early afternoon, the late morning, and I really hope this thing doesn't crap the bed now because to be really transparent with you, I'm not going to give the number, but this is actually my largest share count for a stock above, like, let's just even say $3. So, I've been trading a couple thousand shares here and there, but this is definitely my biggest position that I've ever traded in terms of the number of shares. I guess I could say less, or I guess I could say I've traded more for like a 50-cent stock or 40-cent stock, but I rarely trade those. It's to say this though, folks, PROG I'm putting on this list, not because I'm in it. I'm in this trade for a good reason though. We've had too much buying off of 4, too much buying off the 397 opening print price. I was commenting on that to Scott, who's in our trading room now, and he's long also on this trade with me from 397. He moved to stop up with me. We've hung on this trade since. If it's not going to break any lower, there's only one other way it's going to go. At least that's the thought, and so far, that's what we're getting. 420 is our next big level. After that, 450. After that, 5. If this thing shoots up to 5, I will be made man. Perhaps I'll be getting that F-Type sooner than later. All right, let's see. Alan, you're in at 4 also. One of our trial members joining us here live. I love it. All right, cool. If anyone else is in this trade, let me know. I don't want to jinx it. The sound of that is me knocking on my wood desk. All right, if there's anything else though, folks, up, down, left, right, more than 5%, typed in the chat board. Let me know though here. Not a crypto day. We'll talk about Bitcoin and all the good stuff tomorrow. I closed out my position that I was in on Phantom FTM. That thing just exploded the last 2 days. So, it pushed up even higher after I got out, but I'm happy. We'll talk all about that tomorrow. Mark D, one of our gold students, in from 405. All right. We got to get a pop soon, though. Sooner than later here. TikTok, we got to get this thing to break that 420 level. If not, then I guess I could say the same thing vice versa. If it's not going to break any higher, then we might have to see this thing begin to pull back. Bit of a pennant building right now, too, live. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll check Benzinga Pro myself. I don't see anything else, though, from YouTube or Facebook Live, and that's fine. I think that we pretty much touched upon them all. Look at Kara here. Kara looks pretty good popping up on my Benzinga Pro news feed, or my signals feed, rather. It's, trading not as much volume compared to what we would normally like to see the stock make, but that's actually a pretty interesting reason for me to put this on the afternoon list right now. It's more than what the bare minimum we would look for is, and it's just to say this stock had a huge pop and drop day back here in late August time. It has a huge gap for it to potentially attempt to fill. Not bad, up 7.5% this Kara stock. And the spread's not bad either. I mean, liquidity checks out pretty decent for right now. The more this pushes up, the faster it goes. That's not going to be the case. So, we'll see if this thing can make its, move here soon. All right, I don't know if I talked too fast, but I'm looking at the time here, 2:45. I'm like making great use of the time, folks. Yeah, that was the plan. But if there's anything else though, folks, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're just about good here. actually really quick on the PROG trade. I was talking about a trend line before, and I mixed up a stock or two. It was the PROG trade that had the trend line test, and I wrote that in the chat board inside Cybergroup before I even started this meeting. But this is the trend line I was alluding to, the trend line test off the highs. So it broke it, but now it's got to begin to, continue to break resistance going up. WTRH from John. I did see this trade earlier today. The WTRH are actually prior to starting this meeting. So I appreciate you typing it in now, John, reminding me of it. And not only that, I think I skipped over it as I was going from top to bottom here. Right now, though, it's just so flat. It's trading has so much volume on the order book for it to break. So the question is, even if it does move up, how much more is it going to move up? That's the question. That's kind of the reason why I like the Cara trade, because the order book isn't really that liquid. If this thing really wants to go, it will, and it would get halted fast. The PROG trade itself definitely has a lot of volume on the order book. It has to try and cut through, and that one's even taking sweet time. So that's my only concern. It would be like watching the grass grow. I feel like that's it. I hope I'm wrong, because that stock's treated us pretty nicely over the last month. So for right now, I'm not going to put it on the main special list, but wouldn't be a bad idea to keep on the back end of your side list there. All right, folks, I think that just about does it from me. For all of us joining us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I appreciate you sticking with me here each and every day, each and every afternoon. If you have any other questions you would like to ask, stocks in which you would like to go over with me on the side, or even crypto, feel more than free to do so. My email address right here in the chat board, josh@c2trading.com. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. Last one from P Trader. What about the IINN, right? We said we were going to get back to that. We said it was on the side list. Almost finished up without going back to the IINN. That's right. You know what? It's pushing back up over the last 5 minutes. I like to see that. It looks like there's a small iceberg order on the ask at 720, a 13,000 share order. So, that's something to focus on. And for right now, because of this move up, I like this. Good call. Yeah, I appreciate the reminder of this on this one again. Just getting ahead of myself there. All right, so post my email once more, though, folks, josh@c2trading.com. If you're ready to make the plunge, join us live inside our live trading room alongside Leda and Alan, James, Mark, John, Norman, and the 140 of us otherwise live. Feel more than free to do so by going right down to the link on the banner below there, the stream, just to get yourself started. Otherwise, though, I'm going to just take a small break. I'll be back on the mic myself at 3:30 Eastern time, folks, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'll talk to you all then.